Hi, my name is Andrea Schmidt, data scientist with ELEai, and this is part 3 in a 3-part series going over a retail sales data set using Amazon Quicksight to extract visuals and insights from the data. So in the previous 2 videos, I went over an analysis by region, and then in the second video, I did a store analysis, looking into the relationship of sales between stores. And now I'm going to go and dive even further into a SKU, or stock keeping unit, if you're unfamiliar with the terminology. So this is each individual SKU or stock keeping unit and its sales over time. That's how I like to start off my visuals, is I plot it just first as a time series plot and put it into different categories, and here are the SKU categories. So this is a filtered view because there's 99 SKUs in this data set, and you can see over here as you scroll through the legend, we have quite a few SKUs, and this is a filtered view. What I did is I separated out the seasonal versus non-seasonal, and so we can focus on, the categories of things you should keep in stock. They sell consistently, January through December, versus the items that have high seasonality. So this is a high seasonal SKU sum of sales over time. And you can see, of course, the spikes around the holiday season, and then you have some of these other spikes right here. This is SKU 3899 having a spike in August. Then we have this spike in April, which is probably related to Easter, and this hump right here is probably Valentine's Day. So you should be able to see, in retail, you're going to see the effect of holidays as you go through this. So coming down, we have the seasonal SKUs in a filtered view, and then the seasonal SKUs total. So this is all the sales of the seasonal items, and we could see that throughout the year it just hovers under 10 million in sales for these items, and then the spikes going up to 30 million maximum, 25 to 30 million during the November and December selling season. And then since this is the built-in forecast, so since this is a pretty predictive, consistently we see a spike here, we see a spike here, then we get our February spike and our April spike. So this is our Valentine's Day and Easter spike. We can see that forecasted out into the future. If our current date is October, it's going to anticipate this will be the sale for the November pre-Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and December, this will be the spike for Christmas. And it gives you these bounds. So the expected is 24 million with an upper bound of 26 million and a lower bound of 22, and that is with a 95% confidence interval. And as time goes on, there's less and less certainty about those numbers. As you can see, the shaded orange area gets larger and larger. If we want to zoom in, we could do that, and we can zoom in to get a better view of the forecast. We'll keep it zoomed out for now. Here's another view of the same data. That is, each of these bars is a individual SKU, and this is categorized by month. So these colors all represent a different month, with January being light blue and December being this gray at the top. So you can see the beginning of the year to the end of the year, what percentage of the sales. This is at 100%. This is average percent sales in a month. So these are all going to be heavily seasonal SKUs, and you can see that we have month 5, so May. This is very important for the month of May. This is a SKU that is not very important at the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year. And then here we have something interesting. We have some negative sales going on, and that would be something to investigate. That would tell me, okay, there's something going on with this SKU. What happened? Was there a recall? Was it, a bad batch? Was there a lot of returns for some reason? And what would be the reason? So this is 3, which is March. This could be Christmas returns. There's many reasons why you're going to have returns, but this would be your visual cue to go investigate. And of course here, wow, we have like a really heavily seasonal item. Okay, so I'd like to compare these two, and this is how I created the seasonal SKU and then the steady state or steady sales SKUs by looking at this chart. So I had the 100% view up, and I wanted to see if there were, anything that popped out visually to me. I put up here as part of this group, this seasonal SKU group. And anything that looked normal, I put down here to see. And of course, it's not perfect. There is always, there is seasonality across all items in the holidays, and they don't perfectly line up. But you could see generally these items have a good distribution of sales throughout the year. So I'm calling these steady SKUs. These are seasonal SKUs. These do not have a steady distribution. And since this is percent sales throughout the year, then I might want to compare it to absolute sales. And you could see these high spikes. 6899 is a good high selling item that sells almost equally throughout the entire year. So that's important for, purchasing and planning and making sure these SKUs are stocked. They're very important SKUs. Less important items like, yes, this 8982 SKU, its sales are pretty low. It is, as far as importance, it's low on the scale of importance. It sells evenly throughout the year, but not very well. So how much shelf space are you going to dedicate to something like this versus this? So this is going to go into strategy thinking of how do you plan your store layout. And of course you can sort this. I have this lined up with the matching SKU above it, but I can go ahead and sort. Actually, let me see, sort here. Sort by sales. So this is a ascending view. And if I want to see my poor performers, I can zoom in here and go, okay, well, over here, these aren't as, I make less than $1,000 a year on this, on average. Oh, sorry, week. I make $1,000 or $1,000 is this line right here. So these three are under $1,000 on average every week. Whereas, actually I just want to reconfigure this so it's high performers. These on average every week make me, I can't quite say that, 50 to 80, maybe 75,000 per week just on this one item. So how are you going to plan your shelf space? How many are you going to order? That will give you insights into how to do inventory planning and store layout and shelf space allocation. As I said in previous videos, I always like to put a pivot table in. Again, it's a nice, familiar format and table that you can manipulate right inside your dashboard view to get a more detailed look. This is ordered by month, so this is December to January, and by SKU. So I could sort these any way I want. I can, focus only on December. I can sort it by descending, and it will change the view and sort the table for me. So it's now sorted on the highest selling SKUs in December. We have insight ability with a algorithm, or actually, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the top, this is an insight for top total sales movers. So this is top performing or changing SKUs. And these 3 SKUs all increased in 2012. So, but okay, you can't just stop there. You kind of have to look at the details a little bit and say, so this SKU went from $1.98 to 137. Like, that's not, like, something's, a little wacky there. $1.98, that means like what, you sold 1 pack of M&Ms or whatever this item is. And then it's a big change. It's probably the largest increase, but you want to look at here and say, okay, well, maybe something's going on here to put this at the top. Same with this one. This went from a negative number to a positive number, negative 3.7 thousand to about 1,000 positive, which is a large increase, but this could be a special case scenario. Maybe this was returned for some reason, or something happened with this product to get a lot of negatives. And then this one, though, seems like a legitimate mover, right? This is legitimate. This is a 25% increase of this SKU number. It went from 786,000 to 986,000. So this is believable. These top 2 I probably would discount or go investigate, and there would probably be something to indicate why these are coming to the top. I would count this really as the only mover. We have a total of 81 SKUs. So if you're looking at a dashboard and you're like, how many products do we stock? Boom, 81. You're always going to have your updated amount of total SKUs. This right here is your average sales of SKU and city. So this is a 100% view again, and the distribution of sales across the different regions and the different cities. So with this, you're going to pretty much ignore the ones that look even like this. All right, so this item sells pretty good, pretty evenly across all the cities. But this item is Fort Worth just loves this SKU for some reason, and so does Houston. Dallas, not so much, and San Antonio, not so much. So that'd be interesting. Is this, what is the reason for that? And looking over here, all right, so this SKU only exists in Austin. It doesn't even exist in the other, it has 0 sales in any other place. So maybe this is like a UT thing, or something special to that region that makes it a specific SKU for Austin. And so just the ones that stand out, Dallas, maybe the small bars that you want to pay attention to, El Paso, just gives you insight into the distribution among the regions for sales of each individual SKU. And this is a filtered view showing the top 50 and top 8 in city. So there are only 8 cities, so it's showing all cities. But this is showing the top 50 SKUs for sales. It's not going to show you your lower in sale items. And you can, of course, filter this and change this, but this is, I think 50 is your max. I don't think you can fit more bars. I think that's the reason why they max it out. Here's a pie chart, average weekly sales by SKU. So this is showing, the 6899 SKU accounts for every week 10% of your sales, and then another 9% here. So you have almost 20% of your weekly revenue coming from 2 items. This is almost like a quarter. So a quarter of your sales come from 3 SKUs. And you would see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SKUs account for 50% of your weekly sales. And That's important to note because these are very critical SKUs that you would want to keep your eye on. You want to make sure to never be out of stock of these items. They are important probably as far as shelf space goes. These are your very important SKUs. And this is only showing the top 20. So there's a bunch more, teeny tiny contributors over here. But these would be kind of okay. These are your important SKUs. Another visual I included in here is last holiday season sales ranking, October through December, and last year's non-holiday sales ranking, January through September. Why I did this. So I wanted to look at one full year, since this data set ends in October of 2012. I want to look at a year's worth of data, so last year's data, and look at the ranking from October to December. So that is the selling season, like that is the holiday season. And then I want to see which are my rank of best sellers last year, right? So if I'm a store and I'm trying to strategize my holiday buying, and usually the buying would begin months in advance, and the purchasing strategy, this would be something I would be interested in looking at. And also look at what happened last year. Now I don't have stock information. Oops. I don't have stock information, but I might look at the bottom of this tail and say, and this is only showing the top 50. So I wonder if I went like this. Oh, no, sorry. It's going to be like this. So if I'm only showing the bottom 50 now, these were pretty poor performers. What's going to be my strategy moving forward with these items? Are these, why do these perform like $326 over 3 months, October, November, December? That's going to be like, is that even worth putting on the shelf, or is it something we have to buy? Why is it there? Or is it maybe an accessory part? These are going to be questions the stores and store managers themselves strategize, or if it's someone like in a corporate level, why are we stocking these if I'm only making $1 over 3 months of this item? Compare that to January through September. So I want to see non-seasonal, my top performers. 6899, this is the interesting thing to know. Let me So 6899 is a top seller in October, November, and December, as well as throughout the rest of the year. So again, very important SKU. And so what I would say are these ones right here, 1204. Well, 1204 throughout the rest of the year it's still 75 million. It's nothing to, not pay attention to, but you could see how it becomes more important. It makes it to the second place during the holiday season. And so these will shift, right? These are kind of your steady states. And these are your, sorry, I'm moving around too much. These are your highly seasonal items at the top here. And these are your good, high-performing non-seasonal items. And of course, you can look at the top 50 and change the view, and also look at the bottom 50. So this is throughout the year. We have some negative numbers here. So that would be something to investigate. Are those actual negative numbers? Going back to data collection and asking the question, why do I have a negative? Did something happen in data entry? Or is this $5,000 in returns? Or damaged goods? This could also be a shipment that was damaged and you had to write it off. So that is something to take into consideration. How is the data collected? Why are these numbers outliers like they are? And at the bottom, last, but certainly not least, are my tables, where I want to look at SKU sales over each year and for each city as well. And these are just easy lookups. If I'm looking at a visual here and I have a question, I can easily go and either drill down by city or look at the yearly trends in a table format because so many people love tables. All right, so that concludes my SKU analysis. And just to review, we went over the very same data set. I produced three different visuals. And this one focused on region sales, the other on store sales, and then the other on the individual SKUs themselves. So each of these are going to be more important to the party. If I'm a store manager or a region manager, I may be interested, like if I'm the Texas region, I may be interested in strategizing for all these cities in the different sales and finding out why are some cities overperforming or not overperforming, but performing really well, and compared to why are some not performing well. If I am a store manager, I would definitely be interested in strategizing stock, how I keep track of my stock, how well some SKUs are selling. I placed an item in a different location. You want to track how well that item does after you make a change or a move. And then from a store point of view, this is going to be, again, a higher level strategic person in the company who is going to be interested in, okay, among all these stores, which ones are performing well, because you're going to want to duplicate that. And you're going to see which ones don't perform well. You're going to find out why, and maybe even change that individual store strategy. So that concludes my analysis. This is Amazon Quicksight that I made this with. I made this pretty quickly. I was able to put this all together in a day and demonstrate how quickly you can get these insights up and running with out-of-the-box features in Amazon.